Oh, that's not very good, but
Yeah.
it's okay. Check this out.
Try yours.
Oh,
that was a good one. Oh my gosh.
Hey, what are y'all up to?
What does it look like we're doing? We're skipping rocks.
I'm trying to hit a turtle.
I'll show you how to skip a rock.
Okay. Mr. Pro over here.
He knows how to skip a rock. That's the
I
wrong
think
size.
I think it has to be flat.
What is all this on?
It looks so slimy.
Oh my god, I think that's a biofilm.
A biofilm?
Yeah.
What is
Look how slimy that is.
Oh my gosh.
What's a biofilm?
Well, the official definition of a biofilm is an aggregate of microorganisms in which cells adhere to each other and or to a surface. These adherent cells are frequently embedded within a self-produced matrix of extracellular polymeric substances, otherwise known as EPS. Biofilm EPS, which is also referred to as slime, is a polymeric conglomeration generally composed of extracellular DNA, proteins, and polysaccharides.
What you're saying is like microorganisms, they like group together to form like, say these buildings around UT, and then the streets are like fluid-filled channels or something like that. They're bringing nutrients.
Yeah, I mean, that's the general idea.
Okay, that makes a little sense.
Biofilms are really interesting. Did you know that they can grow anywhere that's moist and has the proper nutrients? Yeah, they can be in rivers, lakes, on rocks. They can be in your shower, even in and on your body. They're found all over countertops. I bet there are even some biofilms on this little turtle.
Oh,
Isn't he cute?
he's cool.
Yeah. See, biofilms are in your shower. They can be in your mouth. Yeah, known as dental plaque and also gingivitis. Where else can they be found?
Wait, so basically they like more moist environments?
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of biofilms are found in UTIs and even middle ear infections.
Oh man, so they're everywhere.
Yeah, they can even be on your contact lenses.
Wow. Good thing I don't wear contacts.
Isn't it cool?
Awesome.
Man. We're getting better.
I don't know, I don't have
Hey, did you catch all the cool stuff we were talking about biofilm?
Yeah, it sounds really fun and like interesting. But I remember in our bio classes like last year, I think, that we took together, that they said something about the 5 stages of development, but I don't remember what they were. Do y'all?
Yeah, the first stage is initial attachment. Stage 1, initial attachment. This can also be known as conditioning. Loose organic soils that have proteins and carbohydrates combined together with minerals and hard water. The process can happen in a matter of seconds of exposure to the surface. This initial layer helps neutralize any excess charge and energy that the surface might have that would keep bacteria from approaching the area. Free-swimming microorganisms are then able to attach to the surface. At this stage, the microorganisms can still be easily removed or even killed.
Okay, so the first step is initial attachment.
That's right. And the second step is irreversible attachment. The second step is irreversible attachment. As the name implies, the bacteria becomes much harder to detach from the surface. Microorganisms can attach themselves to the surface by using tendrils or filaments. They also release a polysaccharide, or glycocalyx, which forms a protective coating or layer for the microbes. Not only is this coating used for protection against environment and physical dangers, but it also helps concentrate nutrients within the biofilms for these microorganisms. A glycocalyx matrix can hold a lot of water, which causes the biofilm surface to feel like jelly or slippery, just like the rock.
And the third step is maturation 1, and the fourth step is maturation 2. In maturation 1, we start seeing vertical development on the surface. The biofilm environment is a more rich layer of nutrients that can support the rapidly growing microorganism community. The cells and microorganisms that originally attached to the surface now start to reproduce and create more vertical developments. These daughter cells start to secrete their own glycocalyx, and biofilms get larger. In maturation 2, biofilms start to develop multiple towers with channels between them. Secondary colonizers metabolize waste from the primary colonizers, and also produce their own waste that other cells can metabolize. By this stage, the biofilm can be thought of as a metabolically cooperative community living in a customized microniche.
Remember, a niche is the smallest meaningful division of habitat that can be occupied by one species. It can also be known as how a species makes a living.
So is any of this ringing a bell? Do you remember the 5 stages?
I think so. The fifth one's dispersion, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like whenever people move away from cities, microorganisms can move away from biofilms and spread to new surfaces.
Exactly.
At this final stage, a mature biofilm can release pioneer cells, which will become free-swimming cells again. This is a vital part of the biofilm life cycle because this allows biofilms to spread to new surfaces.
Man, bathrooms are disgusting. I bet you there's biofilm all over this place.
Yeah, I bet bathrooms have the ideal nutrients for bacteria to grow. They must have the perfect growth factors. You know, not all biofilm grow equally. There's a lot of factors that affect their growth, such as the nutrients available, the physical and chemical characteristics of the surface, like its polarity, and of course pH levels. Also, temperature and the rate of water flow in the sample and antimicrobial levels in the sample affect growth rate as well.
Well, that's great and everything, but what are you doing in the men's bathroom?
When you gotta go, you gotta go. See you later.
Alright, bye.
What are you doing here? Is this the men's bathroom?
Oh yeah, come on in. I was just thinking about some factors that affect the growth of biofilms.
Some other factors affecting growth are the number of species in the sample, whether the microorganisms can move on their own, and the cellular structures of the microbe. Also, the types of metabolic interactions between the cells. Did you know that?
Yeah, actually I did, but I love it. Biofilms are so interesting.
That's great. Can you leave now?
Okay, I was done anyway.
Okay, let's stop for a second. This is all interesting stuff about biofilms, but why should you really care about biofilms?
Well, biofilms create a more suitable environment for other organisms by creating its own dynamic and providing nutrients and metabolic propertivity. It enhances bacterial survival and proliferation. They're also useful when there's been an oil spill. For example, alkanarax are gram-negative bacteria that can form biofilms around oil and are able to break down oils in the water. They also use this oil as nutrients. Oh, hey guys, what's going on?
Not much, what are you up to?
Well, I'm just getting a snack before class. What about y'all?
Not much, still talking about biofilms. I'm kind of sick of hearing about them.
Why? They're like so important.
Really? Because I haven't heard anything about how they affect me.
That's not true. They affect you in many different ways. I saw a documentary the other day that talked about antibiotic resistance in them.
What do you mean?
You know, some biofilms can have an antibiotic resistance, which can have a tremendous impact on your health and the medical community. For example, Pseudomonas aeruginosa is a bacteria that can form biofilm, and it can cause cystic fibrosis.
But wait a minute, you don't have to be a biofilm to have antibiotic resistance. Don't free-living individual bacteria have antibiotic resistance too? What makes biofilms so special?
Well, you know, biofilm bacteria show a much greater resistance to antibiotics than their free-living counterparts. The exact mechanism is unknown and fuzzy, but there's a lot of research going on about it. Do you guys know of any hypotheses that are floating around?
Yeah, actually, I know one of them. One of them is the impaired penetration of an antibiotic into the biofilm matrix. Basically, it means that the antibiotic can't get through the biofilm matrix and reach the microorganism, so it doesn't have an effect on them.
I was just reading up here, it says, altered microenvironment within the biofilm, for example, pH, oxygen content, reduces the activity of an antimicrobial agent. This would suggest that the response to antibiotics will vary according to the location of specific cells within a biofilm ecosystem.
That's so interesting. You know, I'm taking microbial ecology right now, and thinking about it, after learning so much about biofilms, I can definitely see why ecologists are so interested in biofilms.
Yeah, definitely. Biofilms are affected by the distribution and abundance of organisms. You know, you have to have microorganisms in order to make the biofilms. They provide localized areas for microorganisms to aggregate.
Yeah, and also microbes can interact with each other through quorum sensing within the biofilm.
Yeah, like what was said earlier, microbes and biofilms can use all sorts of materials as energy, such as oil. I've learned so much about biofilms. You know, I'm never really going to look at slime on a rock the same way again.